Hey guys, my name is Casey, and this is Cartoon Central on ChannelFrederator, where we show you cartoons that we love. This week on Cartoon Central, we're bringing you Ghost Stories, an anthology of 11 short films produced by an independent animation collective, Late Night Work Club. Each of these animations has its own style and aesthetic, running the gamut from traditional narrative to abstract, from downright creepy to hilarious. In this episode, we feature 3 shorts that show this range. Ghost Stories in its entirety is about 40 minutes long, so you're probably going to want to watch it in a couple of chunks, that way you can really digest it. Also, you're going to want to watch them a bunch of times anyway, so pace yourself. Our number 3 ghost story is called The Jump by Charles Huettner. It has a striking visual style, a clear sense of narrative, and in my opinion, the biggest payoff story-wise. Super clever, awesome sense of storytelling, and a really clever play on the idea of ghost story. It's not a scary story, it's literally the story of the ghosts. Our number 2 ghost story is called Rat Trap by Caleb Wood. It makes the list for a few reasons. For a collective called Ghost Stories, very few of the animations are actually haunting. Rat Trap actually is. Full disclosure, it took about 6 watches for me to get a good read on what was actually happening. The editing and the style give it a really interesting texture that makes it super easy to watch 6 times, but also kind of hard to understand. I was finally able to understand what was going on when I thought of it as a ghost story from a rat's perspective instead of my perspective. I don't really want to say more than that because part of the fun is figuring out the narrative for yourself. It's definitely the most experimental film of the bunch. Our number 1 ghost story is called Last Lives by Scott Benson. We're featuring it because of the sheer scope of the world that was created in just 4 minutes. Last Lives explores the idea of what happens when a user dies in a world embedded in technology where moderators are viewed as gods. It's a great mix of the fantastical and the technological. Oh my gosh, the landscapes are visually complex and gorgeous. And if you're paying close enough attention, you'll find that most of the details are actually quite funny. Very cool, probably worth more than 1 watch, especially if you want to catch the humor. I could seriously do 4 episodes just about ghost stories. Every animation was so unique and so deserving of recognition. It makes me really excited to see what else is going to come out of Late Night Work Club. If you want to watch Ghost Stories, there is a link in the description below. And if you'd like direct links to the 3 animations we featured in this episode, those can be found there as well. Watch it, leave me a comment below telling me about which one's your favorite, because I really want to keep talking about this. Speaking of which, tune in next week for a special Halloween-themed episode. I used to get such a kick out of scaring people. When I was in like middle school, one of my friends always had Halloween parties, and she had younger siblings, and so they had younger friends that would come, and I was awful. I used to tell these stories and they would just like be crying and running to their parents. And in retrospect, they were just like the regular urban legend scary stories that everybody tells, but it was pretty mean of me. Especially because I hate being scared. So maybe that was just like my defense. If I scare everyone else first, they won't be able to scare me.